All right, welcome to a match prediction. It's funny, Ethan, because we literally set the phone down, push record, and like 3 seconds before the lawnmower started
Will
up.
this video last longer than the lawnmower?
We're gonna find
think?
out. We have not done a match prediction for AEW or WWE for multiple months. I don't know. Well, we did. You guys did one for you and your buddies for Money in the Bank. But as far as what you and I have done, it's been a while. And the next big event is AEW All In London at Wembley Stadium. And as of this recording, if you're watching this, we're gonna put this out probably on the day of All In. This is a few days before that, so Dynamite for this Wednesday is not aired yet, so there could be more matches added. But as of this recording, they've sold over 80,000 tickets, which is more than SummerSlam
At Wembley?
Wow. And there's a record there, maybe like the largest ticketed wrestling event. I don't know if it's just in London or in the last 20 years. I don't know. But
what about
you got WrestleMania at Cowboy Stadium. I don't know if those really were tickets there. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
I mean, they sold those tickets, but I don't know. You have to look up the details. But it's bigger than SummerSlam '92, which is what people are comparing this event to.
one of the reasons why I think they've got such high attendance isn't because AEW is kind of they're kind of in like a rut right now.
Okay.
They're kind of in like a rough spot.
And they have been for about a year, since All In last year, or All Out last year.
Yeah. It just hasn't. Well, Full Gear was when MJF won. That was it was good at that time when MJF was just coming back in between that time.
But all the Punk, Young Buck stuff that took place last year, and they were suspended. I know Punk was injured for a long time. It's just, I don't know. Truth being told, we have watched very little of AEW over this past summer. We got rid of our paid television service, but for the summer, and we haven't been watching it completely.
Every week that I've ever seen it, it was just not good. It was just horrible, like almost unbearable to watch, boring. I mean, there's been some big matches that I've seen have happened. Blood and Guts.
Yeah.
That could have been, but nothing big has happened. No big storylines that I've heard about.
It started out fun in 09, of course, with 2020 and 2021. Things went down. 19, not 09. 19, and of course, no fans. That wasn't fun for anybody. And then I felt like it got the hottest when Adam Cole came in. That would be All Out 2 years ago, and Bryan Danielson.
We did that right here on the porch.
We did on this very porch. We were on location in West Virginia,
Yep.
And then so here we are now. So maybe this will be another turning point as we head toward All In and then All Out 6 days later, which is crazy. That's going to be in Chicago, and we're not going to make those predictions because as of this recording, only 2 matches are official for All Out in Chicago. We're talking about All In. You want to make some predictions? You want to do anything?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to start out with, there is a what do they call it? The 0 hour, kind of the buy-in. I think that's what they used to call it. Aussie Open defending the ROH Tag Team titles against Adam Cole and MJF. I mean, we'll go ahead and do this. What do you think?
Which titles are there?
These are the ROH World Tag Team titles.
Yeah. They
failed to win it against FTR, so they're going to fight the ROH champions.
The ROH titles don't mean anything
compared to the AEW titles. You're right.
Yeah, I've never any match I've ever seen any ROH belt. It doesn't mean anything. Especially this one and the Pure Championship. It just never really meant much. The people who won it never springboarded their careers. It's kind of just another belt to have. I don't know how to I don't know. It's something that I'm going to predict Adam Cole and MJF winning.
Okay.
I've seen similar storylines to this. They had one a few years ago with the tag team champions who are kind of friends but kind of not.
Yes.
Fight for the world title. It happened a few years ago with Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman did that a few years ago.
I think back of like Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels when they were together.
Yeah.
When they were feuding, I think Foley
Triple H and Stone Cold was, but that was different.
Yeah, it was a little different, but still. And I agree with what you're saying about ROH. I would say that the ROH tag titles and these other singles titles meant more when it was actually a separate company.
Yeah.
For sure. Now it's kind of like, not necessarily NXT, because these wrestlers are not like training, they're not developmental in any way, but it's like the AEW roster is so bloated, they got to have something for some of these guys to do, so they kind of push them down to ROH. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I also agree that we have new tag teams. It just feeds that storyline of MJF
Right.
and Adam Cole.
Yeah.
And it's the same night.
Yeah. It's true.
So, all right, that's the first match.
Uh-huh.
We both picked the same. Chris Jericho is set to take on Will Ospreay. I don't know a lot about him. I know who he is, and we've watched him fight a little bit, but he's not necessarily an AEW guy. And I'm not. You know, I know the storyline is the Jericho Appreciation Society have split. I think they're going to go with Jericho versus Sammy Guevara at All Out. They haven't announced that yet.
Let's see that happen.
So I go with Ospreay winning and maybe Sammy Guevara interfering. And I don't know. I haven't followed. I just know I've just seen clips. I haven't watched all the details. I know they've split up and there's some feud there. There's some things brewing. That's what I think is going to happen in that match. Mm-hmm. Does that sound good? What do you think?
Yeah. I know a little bit about Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Some crossover matches, enough to know that he's a pretty good wrestler.
He is
in ring. Some of his I think of the trios match.
Okay.
In the trios tournament, might have been the finals or semifinals, one or the other, against Omega and the Young Bucks, being a great match on Dynamite. We saw it, and I heard Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. Forbidden Door. I heard that was a good match, or I don't know. It just seemed like a good match on paper because I've seen
the more quit.
Yep.
We beat it.
I've seen him wrestle just a few times, and he's pretty good. But we don't see him that much. He's not an AEW guy. I think I agree with you. If the Sammy Guevara feud is going to take place at All Out, interference, yeah.
Okay. Moving on, and there's a few of these matches that really, they're like these mixed matches or these bigger matches, kind of like a six-man tag. It's hard to predict these kind of things. We've got the Golden Elite, which is Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, and Ibushi. Okay, versus Jay White, Juice Robinson.
I don't even know who this is.
And Takeshita.
I know who that is.
Yeah, well, we haven't been watching as much. Let's just say we don't know the exact storyline of all this. I will say there's no way Omega is going to lose. Omega and Hangman, even though they just re-signed with AEW, which is very. I wish they would have went to WWE, but I go with Golden Elite. Like I said, we haven't been watching as much and know all the details.
At a further time, I'm going to talk about Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks, why they should go to WWE.
Yeah.
Because kind of like they've both been world champions.
Mm-hmm.
Their time at the very top is over. Like AEW doesn't have two-time world champions. I mean, there's been a few. Could CM Punk win it again? Maybe, but that's a totally different.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. That's a different story.
Okay.
He's been there. It's not like he's a young up and comer.
We're good.
And although they're at the, you're all right, Pomo. And although they're not really up and coming anymore, they're not. They've never went to WWE, and they're still like they're top guys in AEW. But I could just see them going to WWE and getting eventually a world title push. Think about Cody Rhodes. I could see something similar to that happening with any wrestler from there because people know who they are. Kenny Omega is a great in-ring wrestler.
And Cody wasn't buried when he went back.
No, they made him the top guy. Now, he was there at one time, but I could see it happen to any just about any top AEW guy. Maybe some of the lower card, I could see them underusing, but
Now, I agree. But from what I heard, and this is a side note, Omega, Young Bucks, and Hangman and Page re-signed for about 4 years, which just stinks. Because man, what's Omega? How old is Omega going to be in 4 years? But we'll see. Let's move on. Stadium Stampede, the returning Eddie Kingston teaming up with the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, and the Lucha Bros to take on Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, Claudio, and 3 to be determined. Which I don't know all this, who those people are going to be. When I heard Stadium Stampede, I said it's fun. Those are fun. They've always been fun matches. What do you think is going to happen in this match?
I'm not sure. So Stadium Stampede, but they're not like opening. They're not.
Well, that's the thing, because
It's got to be. They probably pre-recorded it like a couple days before.
I wonder if it's going to be a pre-recorded thing or they're going to fight throughout. Because we went to Double or Nothing in Vegas last year. What was that match they did where they were like fighting during when people were in the arena?
I can't remember what it was called. Oh, Anarchy in the Arena.
Anarchy in the Arena. That was when there's fans there. However, the Stadium Stampedes, like you mentioned, have always been empty arenas.
Or at least just completely open field.
Yeah, like you did the Jaguar Stadium.
Is Wembley a soccer stadium?
I think so. I believe it is.
So, it's pretty big.
I could
field.
I could see it happening, like you said, pre-recorded. I'm going with the heels in this, and it's going to be interesting to see who those 3 people are that they haven't determined, because Bryan Danielson is officially out. He's injured, so he's not going to be one of those guys. I'm not a big Eddie Kingston fan. He's fine. It's a pretty big beat.
That's pretty big.
I'm not a big Eddie Kingston fan. I'm really not. And I'm not a Best Friends fan. I like Orange Cassidy, and Lucha Bros are fun to watch. I go heels winning this. Just because it's Moxley and, I don't know.
I agree.
Even though I heard, now, if you're watching and you say, well, I've been watching AEW every week, I know every storyline, everything going on. I believe it looks like they're getting ready to feud Orange Cassidy and Moxley. So, we'll see. And, he's been the All-Atlantic or International Champion, I guess, now for since, last year. Our battery is running low. He's been the International Champion since November, I believe. Let's move on.
Wow.
There's a coffin match, a tag team coffin match. WWE, they call them a casket match. This is more of a coffin match because the coffin drop. You got Darby Allin and Sting taking on Swerve Strickland and AR Fox. Who wins this?
There's no.
This is the easiest one to predict, I would think.
Yeah. There's no question. Who's gonna win? It's gonna be Darby Allin and Sting.
I agree. I don't know much about AR Fox. I've seen him wrestle, and I do like Swerve Strickland. That's the guy I would like to see come back, maybe to NXT or WWE.
Yeah.
But Darby and Sting are going to win on this grand stage, not the grandest stage of them all, because we know what that is. But on this least grander stage, I guess you'd say.
But a pretty big arena.
Yeah.
For AEW, the biggest crowd
ever.
It's gonna be.
Is this their first show in London?
Yeah. I think maybe.
This is an event. On paper, it doesn't look like the greatest show ever, but it's an event I would really like to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do a show like this.
I was just gonna say that when getting it on pay-per-view is just it's just not worth it enough.
Too much money
for the price they're asking, but getting it on DVD, we might need to. We got a couple DVD on DVD, and they're like $30 or something.
Hopefully, there'll be enough clips released online, their YouTube and such, where we can kind of, get the feel of what it's like, and then maybe we can get the DVD.
Yeah.
The issue is you pay about $50 or $60. That pays for the network for the rest of the year for us. So
or we look for an illegal copy on YouTube for a few hours. I'm kidding.
We did that one year. But we didn't literally look for that. We just said, hey, let's look up the last event.
And it came up, they had the whole event, somebody illegally put on there. And
we watched it. And then
we watched, we watched the main event.
Yeah. And then it was taken off quickly. But we're not endorsing or condoning anything like that.
I was teasing.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't do that.
We've got the real world championship, CM Punk, taking on Samoa Joe. Another match that's like, I'm not a Punk fan.
No.
And I know that's probably an unpopular opinion. He reminds me too much of Bret Hart. I'm a Shawn Michaels guy.
Yeah.
Bret Hart, awesome in the ring, of course. Outside the ring, he's always a crybaby, always a whiner. Still a whiner, still a crybaby. And CM Punk, he goes right hand in hand with it. I would love to see CM Punk being done in wrestling. There's a moment that, I like Punk. I loved Punk back in WWE when he was, at his top. I thought he was like to me, he was like the coolest in Stone Cold at a point. He's just too whiny. And he's going to destroy Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's not at his level.
It was cool when he came back, and he did some good stuff and had some, like, good matches with, like, Darby Allin, MJF. Really good matches. He's just, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but,
That's okay. CM Punk coming back, and it was awesome at that
moment.
Yeah, he
was good, and not so much anymore. And after all the stuff that happened last year,
knowing that
they
have another show that's just for him because he can't get along with the other people.
I just don't like him anymore. I don't care about CM Punk at all.
It's just a bad taste in your mouth, at least for me. Punk's gonna win though.
Yeah.
And it's gonna set up for a champion match.
I really hope he doesn't.
He'll get hurt.
I hope they don't have the exact same belt again.
Yeah. What do they call the interim champion? It was so stupid.
Yeah, and then they had like the undisputed champion.
I guess it's something different. We'll give them that.
I didn't like it.
The AEW Women's Championship, AEW Women's Wrestling is at the bottom, even though probably my favorite female wrestler is in AEW. I still think Britt Baker's the best. She's challenging along with Toni Storm and Saraya, which used to be Paige, taking on Shida, who's the champion. I will say this, Shida's going to lose because all these other three are better than her, but Storm's already been champion, so I'm going to go with Saraya. I'm going to go with Saraya, even though I think Britt Baker should win.
I agree.
Let's just make this quick because it's quick and painless. Moving on, the two main events, really there's one main event, but this is the two biggest matches. FTR defending the World Tag Team Championships against the Young Bucks. And you mentioned earlier, AEW doesn't have a lot of two-time champions.
Right.
With the trouble that Cash Wheeler's in now, there's some legal trouble and some things that happen outside of wrestling. You got to see the Bucks winning, right?
I can see the Bucks winning again, but
Bucks just re-signed. I go Bucks winning here. What do you think?
I like the Young Bucks a lot.
I like both of these teams.
I like both of them, yeah. But the Young Bucks are like one of my favorite tag teams. But they've been champs twice.
They have been champs twice?
They have.
We're going to go 3.
I just don't really want to see them as champions unless they just had a lot of like really good matches because they're just the top. And I don't know exactly. I just don't really want to see them as champions because it's like, oh, they're champs again. I want to see the next team or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though I like the Young Bucks a lot, and I don't. It's like I don't care. What I mean is, it's not like, oh, they're getting old. It's time to have somebody different. That's not what I mean at all. What I mean is, it's getting old for some reason. Like, it's not like I don't want them to be like the top tag team or because they're still very relevant.
There's not a lot of tag teams in AEW.
There's some feel about it that's like, well, maybe not. It wouldn't be the worst thing. But what I really want to see happen is a change of scenery. I want to see them in WWE because I feel like it would just be different and.
They're kind of getting stale where they're at, for sure.
Seeing them win all these times is kind of getting... And their placement in AEW is already stale already. I don't know. Just something about them in AEW is getting stale.
Sadly, though, Ethan, we're not going to get to see that. They've signed a 4-year deal. Yeah. That's what we hear. So they're there to stay. Because of the trouble, the out-of-wrestling trouble of Cash Wheeler, I'm going the Bucks on this one. I think they were going to win anyway. FTR's been champions for a while. I go the Bucks on this one. And let's move on to the main event because we already know His phone's less than 10% charge.
I agree with that. And
Okay.
you know, maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking. I'd like to see the Young Bucks win them back. And this is going to be a great match.
The two by far best wrestlers, at least / entertainers, in AEW right now. MJF, the world champion, been the world champion since November, and my favorite, Adam Cole. And they've had this feud / friendship all summer long. Mm-hmm. It's coming to a head, but not really because they're still friends. So this is not going to be their final match by any stretch. What do you think? Oh, you go first.
One thing I'm going to say is MJF is going to win this match.
Okay.
Another thing is MJF is kind of starting to turn face. It seems a little bit. I've seen a few clips. We don't have a service that has a Dynamite on it anymore.
Yeah. He's definitely
so
trending in that direction.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know. I want to see him as a heel.
Okay.
That's just me. But I think he's a lot.
Every good heel, for the most part, eventually will go face. Maybe like a Ric Flair or a Stone Cold, who is a good heel, but he's gonna get popularity behind him. I go MJF winning. This is what I think is gonna happen. I think MJF's gonna win. Ultimately, Adam Cole is gonna turn on him. I don't know when that will be. I think they're gonna be heading toward MJF versus CM Punk to merge the real championship and the championship. But I think MJF will come out of that, hopefully still champion, to ultimately set up for maybe. So I'm thinking maybe like either Punk and MJF at like Grand Slam or a Full Gear, and then you got MJF still coming out of all that, fighting maybe Cole at Revolution in February. I don't know when MJF's contract's up. He's talked for years about 2024, the war in 2024. I don't know if that's, I think that might be. I think he might already have re-signed. I hope not. I would love to see him in WWE. Mm-hmm. I wish more AEW guys had ventured over. A few smaller guys, and of course Cody Rhodes has. But we'll see. What do you think? You say MJF?
Yeah, and I would rather see what was I thinking of? MJF is a heel.
Okay.
And him turn on Adam Cole, and Adam Cole be a face. Like, yeah.
I think they're just headed. It's bound to determine MJF's going to end up being the face. We could be surprised.
I just don't think. I don't think. You
like him better as a heel.
I like him better as a heel. Like Roman, Roman Reigns. There was a rumor he was going to turn face.
Yeah.
It never happened. And with the character he's got right now, and he was never really that good of a face, other than in the Shield. I can't see it working. I don't see it working well. Like as with MJF, even if he still, uses his mic skills and his insult skills.
Well,
I don't know. I like him a lot better as a heel.
Stone Cold was a good heel, but he was an even better face.
Yeah.
Flair is a better heel. He could be a good face.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Roman Reigns being a good face ever.
I can't.
He plays an awesome heel. He's doing some of the best ever. MJF, I think, could do both, even though I think he leads towards Flair. He's better as a heel, but I still think he could succeed as a face. He's got to keep still some of that. He's going to keep the loudmouth character. I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens.
But I'd much rather see him as a.
I agree, though.
I just feel like, I don't know. It's kind of the same as Roman Reigns. I can't see him being a good face. That's just where I haven't seen it.
Sure.
Come to fruition yet.
Okay.
So,
enjoy
wait
All
see,
In if you're going to watch it online, if you're going to watch it on pay-per-view. All In from London. we'll try to do an all-out prediction. Only 2 matches. I think Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs are a match that's been announced for all-out as of this recording. And then the TNT Championship on the line. Luchasaurus, or possibly
I forgot he won.
Christian Cage, I guess Luchasaurus, versus Darby Allin for the TNT. That's officially been announced. There could have been some other things that I don't know of, but I'm pretty sure that's it. Another thing we're going to mention before, hopefully his phone does not die. Will Adam Copeland, formerly Edge, show up at All Out? I've heard rumblings. Could you imagine Edge versus Christian, or Edge and Christian, which it won't ever be Edge there. It'll be Adam Copeland and Christian Cage taking on FTR. Edge is like best friends with those guys. Remember they brought that into storyline a couple years ago? Remember he said something like,
Call it. Oh no, Edge said Edge said call
like Dax and
whatever their real name.
yeah, Daniel, and I don't know, I can't think of it right now. Yeah, so
Like some he got attacked or something. He's like call. And it was their name. Yeah.
and here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know if you realize it. You don't. I'm not sure if you realize it. When Edge was training to come back, FTR was who he was training with.
Huh.
I don't know if they were still in WWE contracts at the time, but and Tony Khan was the one who called Adam Copeland, and
When
said,
Edge came back, they weren't in AEW yet.
"Okay, we're in AEW." Okay, so that's why he trained with them. He's good friends with them. But Tony Khan called Adam Copeland and said, "Hey, listen, I think you should come back, and I think I can get you cleared." WWE was more hesitant about getting him cleared, and that's what got the ball moving of him starting to want to come back to wrestling. And then when Vince found that out, that they were going to bring him back, then he was able to get Edge cleared, and Edge ultimately come back to WWE. But if it wasn't for Tony Khan pushing for that and saying, so I think Adam Copeland will be in AEW. I don't know if it'll be at all in or all out or afterwards, because I think he's going to be on the bump this week. So it makes me think like he's maybe not officially done in WWE. I don't know.
Yeah. I could see like Edge coming back, and like making like a splash in AEW, like
I think he would
being
do
like
really well.
the hot topic
Yeah.
of wrestling. Edge is in AEW. Who would ever thought it was gonna happen before like a week ago or a couple weeks ago? And having like a huge run, getting AEW like a rush of popularity.
Yeah. Kind of like
Fighting
Cole and
with
Danielson
Christian.
did. Yeah.
Being, having some success there more than he has in WWE
Yeah.
because it's kind of been underwhelming his career so far. Reuniting.
Nail on the head.
Hold on a second. I thought of it. I'm sorry.
No,
I
that's
didn't
okay.
mean to
You're
be
fine.
rude there.
You were.
What was I just saying? I could see Edge and Christian
Yeah.
coming back together and fighting the Hardys.
Yeah. That's exactly what
They're all there.
the
Maybe
Hardys,
even a ladder
Young
match,
Bucks.
which is like everyone's like, "Oh, this is so crazy." The AEW has this amazing match. But it's all going back to what happened in WWE. That's the reason why we want it to
true.
happen. So
That's true.
it gives WWE a little bit of
Yeah.
Of course,
You're right when I said
everyone
you
loves
hit the
those-
nail on the head.
Those TLCs. I could see a TLC happening between these two. Maybe the Young Bucks
Yeah.
being included. Maybe a three-way. Remember, they were gonna have a three-way with Young Bucks, Hardys, and Jurassic Express. I think a few years ago,
Yeah.
TLC or
Mhm.
or a ladder match or something like that. I could see it happening, and I could see Edge being more successful in AEW, and then maybe even come back to WWE,
Mhm.
at least just to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Well, he's already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
He
he's
doesn't
in the
even
Hall
have
of
to
Fame.
go back. But I
Edge-
could see him just going back after retirement appearances, whatnot. I almost forgot. The Hall of Fame, Edge and Christian, all of them, they're already in.
Christian's not in yet.
Oh, he's not.
No,
Oh.
Christian's not in. But I think
I could see Edge and Christian going in the Hall of Fame.
I personally
like the tag team.
think he could go to AEW, and I don't think it would be any bad for WWE.
No.
He left in good terms. He come back like he did. He's always been loyal. I think they would understand why, especially Triple H. From what I heard, that RVD called and said, hey, told WWE and said, hey, I want to go to AEW. Kind of, maybe not their permission to get their blessing, and they said, yeah, do it. So I think Edge would be fine there. Like you said, his last run since he returned, and a lot of that has to do with 2020 because it was just bad timing. But it's been very, very. There's nothing I can think of over the last 3 years that I thought this is great. This is why he came back.
No,
he doesn't need to go out this way.
The Royal Rumble was his big surprise moment.
Other than that opening pop, that was it. Even when he was in the main event WrestleMania, it didn't feel right. And he was just kind of the third guy.
It was like a triple. It was a triple threat match.
Yeah, it just did not feel right. But coming back, Edge and Christian, or Adam and Christian, FTR, who he's buddies with, some fresh feuds, even like somebody like Punk or somebody like FTR. That would be right. And then that doesn't mean they can't come back and Edge and Christian go in the Hall of Fame or something together eventually.
I could see him doing that together.
Unless he's just completely like his body's just broken. I don't see this not happening.
I'd like to see it.
What else? What is there? There's nothing for him left to do in WWE at this point in time.
Come back and fight fight the Judgment Day for the 1,000th time.
Yeah, it's time.
He's fought all the names. Yeah. He's fought Rollins. He fought Roman Reigns. All the big names of today.
Yeah.
He's had his matches. Finn Balor.
And AEW needs this as much as Edge needs this. I think.
I think it would be a shot. I think it would be good for both.
Yep.
And it would be exciting.
And it's not really a big loss for WWE. Not the way it's been going.
I'm not an Edge guy, at least now.
Not an Edge head.
I'm not an Edge head of the current Edge.
Yeah.
Christian returning around the same time was a lot better.
A lot.
I think I want to see this happen.
Go ahead.
Because it would be, exciting.
What's funny is if you look back at their careers, Edge has had so much better of a career than Christian Cage. But this return, Christian Cage has had so much better of a return to the ring and wrestling than Edge has over the last couple of years, which has been very interesting. And because Christian still looks younger, he looks in better shape. To me, Edge is still in amazing shape. I'm a lot younger than him, and I'm out of shape. But he's had that gray beard that's made him look so stinking old these last couple of years. Mm-hmm. Should have shaved that off. But anyway, watch All In if you choose to. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we'll be back with an all-out prediction. Maybe even a payback prediction. We'll see. Let's see if we can get these prediction shows going again. Thanks for watching from West Virginia. Wow, this is over 30 minutes. See who watches.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.